So tell us about talking therapies.
So I've had talking therapies with IAP, which is improving access to psychological therapies, and so initially I had around 4 weeks of talking therapies, did another round of talking therapies around 2 months after that, where I was put on medication to help me with my anxiety, and so I can relax and also be able to focus on the therapy. So I was able to, taking more techniques while the medication helped with all the anxiety at the time. What about you?
So when I was 13, I started to see CAMS, which is Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services. And to begin with, I didn't really understand why I was there and what the services were and what they were going to provide. But then after about a year, I began to kind of open up and feel more comfortable with my therapist, which in the end was really beneficial, and they saved my life and they made me feel so much better and more understanding of my own mental health and mental health in general. And I saw them until I was 18.
Nice. Yeah, I think also for me it's been helpful over the years. I've seen an individual person at a couple of different stages, once when I was sort of 13 and then again at a later stage in my teenage years. And I found it incredibly helpful to have someone there who is just there to talk about your mental health. They don't know anything else about you, or there's no other communication. It's just someone you can talk to, vent to, and hopefully who will give you sort of a positive reaction as well. Okay, so tell us about medication and our experience with that.
I've actually got my medications on me. So I take Xaluron, which is quetiapine. So that is an antipsychotic, which I use to treat my schizoaffective disorder. I found them really effective. I like the long release because I can take them in the day and they don't make me drowsy, which is a bad side effect of when I was on the short release.
I've got mine as well, actually. So I take fluoxetine, and I take it for anxiety. It really helps me with all the anxiety and the physical symptoms as well. And one quote that's always really stayed with me is that a celebrity said, you wouldn't tell someone who has diabetes not to take the insulin. Why say that to someone who has mental health difficulties? And it's always, stayed with me, and it's really thought-provoking, I think.
Yeah, me too. In the past, I've taken citalopram, which is an anti-anxiety and depression medication. I think similarly to you, Lexi, I found the first I've taken it a couple of times, in the first couple of weeks is incredibly difficult. Yeah. It sends all of your sort of emotions and thoughts into a disarray.
It always gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah, and I also think different medications at different times in our lives are suitable. So you might not be on it forever, but you might come on and off it or trial other medications to see what helps you in your mental health. Yeah.
But 100%, if it gets you through a particularly difficult period, or if it's something slightly more serious and you rely on the medication, then yeah, what's wrong with that?
So tell us about being an inpatient or attending A&E. Anyone have any experience?
Yeah, so I have been in both A&E and also been an inpatient in a mental health ward. So when I was 13, I attended A&E through my friend calling an ambulance for me. I found them actually really nice, and they really were considerate and cared, and I had no experience of mental health and no mental health awareness at all. So I was referred to CAMS through them. So that happened over the weekend, and on Monday I had my first appointment with CAMS. I found them genuinely so understanding and compassionate, which I found really useful, especially when I myself wasn't sure what was going on with me. I've also been an inpatient, so that was a little bit different. I was in an NHS ward for about a week, which I also did find useful overall. But after that I went into a private ward, and I found there a lot of CBT and counselling, group therapies, and just being able to openly talk about what I was going through, which I personally found is the way that I have managed to cope. It's really helped, and I wouldn't be who I am or as happy as I am without that.
Okay, so what other sources of support have you used in the past, sort of to help with your mental health difficulties as well?
So there's quite a few pages on Instagram that I like to follow that help really with, with mental health difficulties. And I think another great source is also the Mind website. They have really clear information that really helps with, difficulties that you may be going through, signposting. So those two are two of the main ones that I like.
So there's Young Minds as well, so they are separate, and it focuses more on a younger audience, which has different types of medications and conditions. And there's also a text line called Shout, so you can text them for free, and they give you confidential advice just by text rather than speaking over the telephone.
That sounds great. I haven't used that, but I've in the past used the NHS's website, which is really helpful as well. It can be a bit dry, but it explains things in a sort of comfortable and easy to understand way. Also, the Samaritans helpline, it's not something I've used myself, but I know people who have had access to that, and because it's 24/7 and 365 days, it's something that you can all rely on being there for you as and when you need it.
Yeah.